Thanks for joining me for this edition of the Church Security Answer Man. I have got what I think is a good episode for many of you today. We're going to talk about catching a criminal with a temporary blink camera system setup. In fact, I'm actually hoping to catch a criminal. Let's just say I'm right in the middle of being the second week, going on the third week of having some issues at the church. And so I've set up a temporary camera system. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it just a little bit, what the problem has been for the last 2 weeks at my church. And then we're going to talk about the camera setup, the temporary setup I'm going to share with you, give you some video of it. And then I want you to stick around because I want to show you what I've already caught on camera and talk about that a little bit. And then I'll keep you up to date. So stick with me till the end of this video so that I can show you my setup and also what I've been capturing so far. So here's the issue. Here's what we got going on. So started 2 weeks ago. And this was the first issue. It's now our church has a great camera, a great wired camera system throughout the newer part of the church. But this is occurring in the back of an older part of the church that does not have cameras currently. So let's talk about what happened. So 2 Sundays ago from the time of this recording, we found one of our security people found the beginning of a Sunday patrol around the building. The first patrol, they found this appears to be some women's pants and undergarments discarded next to the heat pump unit, which is right outside the back door of an older section of our church. So we just not really anything thought about it other than somebody was hanging out back there, which doesn't occur too often. So they scooped it up and tossed it. So then here's what happens the following week. This is just less than 1 week ago, this last Sunday. We find this. We find that somebody's hanging out in that same area. You can see on the left at the very top of the screen is the heat pump area, and the left area there is the door step. And you can see it very clearly on the camera on the right. But basically what we found is somebody's hanging out there. We found a M&M's wrapper. We found what was also appeared to be human feces that were piled on the ground with some toilet paper with it. We found a couple of cigarette butts. You can see in the picture there. We found an area that looked like they either poured something or peed. You can see that in the left photo. And then a box of wine, a small box of wine that was also tossed out. Now, the photo on the left is right immediately when we found it. We started our process, we started our cleanup, and you can see the picture on the right is just kind of showing where, after we started our cleanup, where this stuff was in relation to the door, just so we could have that picture. We have those 2 Sundays, or 2 weeks actually, to be the most accurate. This kind of stuff is happening. We found it first week on Sunday morning. The next week we found it a little bit earlier. And so now we're going into week 3. So what we decided to do is set up a temporary camera system. We set up a blink system. I'm a big fan of the Blink's camera system. And there's links. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's links down in the description directly to where you can get those cameras or investigate them a little bit more. Because I'm hoping this week to catch whoever's doing this criminal activity of basically littering, vandalizing. I mean, there's all kinds of little things going on here. And we did contact the police. They're informed, as we'll discuss here in just a little bit. So stick with me. There's more details. So let's take a look. I want to show you a video that I created. We'll show you within this where we're going to walk through how I set up the camera system. So let's take a look at that. So this is the first part of our camera system setup where we're with the blink system for this temporary thing. I just set the sync module in a cabinet. You can see it right here, and got it all set up. It's about 100 feet from where the cameras are. It's got 2 walls that it goes through. The signal goes through, and it works great. And one of those is a block wall and a metal door. The system seems to be working great so far. for this temporary camera system. So let's go outside and take a look at what we've got. Okay, so this is our problem area where we're having the issue, as you can see, right here near this door. Between our heat pump area and dumpster is down that direction. So this has been the whole area where this person's hanging out that we've got a temporary setup. I don't want to cause anything permanent. I'm not drilling holes into the ceiling or anything like that. So what I've done, about 15 feet from the problem area, so right over in that area right there, I've attached a camera to a 2x4 so that I can make it temporary. And you can see it here as we take a look at this. The camera is just attached there. It's at a lower level where you can get some identifying features about a person, that kind of thing. Now, as you can see, it gives you a lot of detail. So as the camera's looking at me, you can see it gives much detail, whether the person's low or whether they're high up. It gives us detail about this person. This allows us to be able to identify the person or have some marks, some identifying marks about the person that we can send to the police department. Now, if we go beyond this area to where I think these folks probably come in, the entrance area coming off of the street by the dumpster, we've placed another camera right up here, as you can see. And it's placed on a temporary board. You can see I just slid it in there. I just tacked it to a 2x4 and created a temporary situation where we can see down this alleyway and get another perspective or another warning that the person's coming down this alley. Gives us a good view of that. And you know, it's certainly possible that they're coming from all the way down at that end, entering that area as well. But I had 2 cameras for this temporary system, and that's what I chose to set it up, is to try to cover one area where they might be coming in and then cover a second area where the problems are occurring. So I love that blink camera system, and you can see it's a very simple setup, and I've done it in a temporary fashion here, but they've got some great mounts and that kind of thing. But anyway, so far, what have I caught? So I'm in the middle of week 3, setting this camera up. I did talk to the police. They told me that they believe, based on the wine carton, they believe they know who this person is. So it's a transient type person that's been hanging out in town for some special events, and they believe they may be leaving or have left. So we may not have any more issue. But here is what I've captured so far on our camera. Got some deer, lots of deer. I could show you a lot more deer. Lots of deer pictures, video, and then our friendly, awesome police officers from our town have stopped by for a quick visit. So that's so far what I've captured on the camera. I'll keep you up to date. And that's my setup, and that's my hope, is that we're trying to catch this criminal, this person that's causing some major issues and trash and vandalism type behavior, littering, and we're trying to catch this person, and we do plan to prosecute, just if anybody's wondering, if that person is apprehended. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I'm so glad you joined me for this quick edition, and I hope this helps you. I just love these blink cameras. Check them out in the description below if you're with us on YouTube, or go over to our YouTube page, Church Security Answer Man, and get those links and go check out those cameras. They're great. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you have a safe and secure week. By the way, take a look at these videos right here that I would think are a great addition to your viewing.